Hi everyone, welcome back to the Ultimate Gardening channel. My name is Emmanuel Arce, well known to be the Ultimate Gardener. I'm a 16-year-old gardening educator down here in South Florida that tries to inspire other gardeners to get their hands in the dirt and grow their own gardens. So in today's exciting sprouting video, I wanted to give you guys an update on the companion planting project I did not too long ago. I know we had a few controversies, a few topics that people were questioning about the plant choices I made, and I just wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on how the plants are doing and what I've been doing to keep this maintained. So let's go ahead and jump right into this video. So a few months ago, I planted this little area with a few brassicas, tomatoes, and lettuce plants, and I know that a few of you guys actually commented and let me know saying that brassicas and the combination of plants that I used were not ever so favorable to one another. And like I stated before, this was an experiment. I just planted what I had in hand to see if I can maximize my gardening space and experiment with different types of species to see if they could grow well with each other. Nonetheless, I have the results, some semi-results, like an update for you guys to show you guys how the plants are going and how the plant combination is going as well, if you guys are interested in replicating this combo as well. So the following plants I planted in this little raised bed area was tomatoes, Swiss chard, Paris Island lettuce, as well as some brassicas like kale and broccoli. So all these have been growing really well together. I've been fertilizing as well as staying on top of watering, and they are living in an area, or they're planted in an area that receives 5 to 6 plus hours of direct sunlight daily. And so I know there's a huge controversy between the brassicas and tomatoes because they're both very, very heavy feeders, and at one point they can end up fighting for the nutritious value in the soil. Well, something that I did go ahead and consider was that I was going to have to stay on top of fertilizing if I wanted to exceed perfection from this area. And so I did stay on top of fertilizing with organic earthworm castings as well as an all-purpose fertilizer. And I went ahead and applied it about every month since the last video I did. And they've been performing prolifically in my garden. The tomatoes are starting to bloom, the brassicas got bigger, the lettuce are getting bigger, and so everything seems to be doing well so far. Although the combination has been growing really well so far, that doesn't mean that I have an end result or a conclusion for you guys just yet. We're not wrapping up the season, or we're not wrapping up this bed just yet because I haven't harvested anything from this area quite. So I have to wait until the results come in and until I take out all the plants to give you guys a final result / final conclusion about this area or the combinations given. So far, the plants have been doing great. They've been performing prolifically. The tomatoes doubled and tripled in size. Everything has doubled in size, and even the tomatoes are starting to set some flower. And I believe soon we'll be having some fertilized flower, which means we'll be having some tomatoes very soon. So a few things I did to go ahead and keep this area maintained was, number one, I made sure that this area was free of weeds. Because as you guys know, here in South Florida, although we weed almost every day, we will always see a weed pop up here and there when we're literally done weeding because our temperatures are more favorable, they're more heat, it's more hot, it's more humid, so it actually promotes weeds in the garden. And so I made sure to go ahead and separate some time to remove the weeds from this area because weeds just steal nutrition, they waste some space and area, and they cause pests and diseases to come to the garden and attack the other vegetables. So I make sure that weeds were off the list. Number two is I stayed vigilant for pests and diseases. Once the weeds were removed, I always checked the bottom and the top of the leaves for any early signs of diseases or pests emerging in the garden. Because the thing is, if one plant gets diseased or has a pest on it, there is a 99% of the time that the rest of the plants will get affected later on a date if the pest or disease is not controlled at an earlier stage. So I always stayed vigilant for the tomato hornworm or whitefly or scale. I made sure to go ahead and stay on top as well as spray when I saw early signs of certain things. So we went ahead and checked that off our list. Number three is I made sure that they were receiving a decent amount of water. Although this area tends to flood a lot when it's rainy season, we haven't received rain for the past weeks. And so I had to be out here in the garden and watering with by hand with the hose. So I made sure that this area was drenched in water at least every 2 times every week. So they at least had moist soil but was well draining as well. Because all these plants that have in common is that they like moist soil but that they prefer the soil be well draining and airy. So I made sure I provide that for them so they could all grow well and none of them had any issues later on. Number 4 is I stayed on top of fertilizing, because just like I said before, all these plants require a certain amount of nutritious value to perform the best for you. So I had to provide a higher level of nutrition in this area so the plants could all grow well with each other without fighting for nutritious value in the soil or fighting for nitrogen, potassium, or potassium, any of those elements. I made sure to incorporate it in the garden about every single month or every like 3 to 4 weeks. And so they are not fighting currently for nutritious value because I recently just fertilized them with an all-purpose fertilizer as well with a little bit of earthworm castings, which, as you guys know, I always recommend organic matter, which is the best for growing your own food. And so I always stayed on top of fertilizing to make sure all the plants stay happy and are receiving the needs that they need. Me at number 5 is just I let the plants do their thing, because the whole point of doing companion planting is to allow the plants to do their best and perform their best no matter the condition. So I haven't pruned the tomatoes yet, I haven't cut back the lettuce yet. I'm just letting them grow on a little bit more mature size to see what the final results could be, because that's what I'm able to conclude from. Just seeing how well these plants can grow with each other even when they're at a mature state of their plant cycle. So I need to make sure that those plants are growing to their full capacity without pruning them, without touching them, without removing the flowers. I'm letting them be. I just planted them and that's it. I just been fertilizing and removing the weeds and all the rest of the things I stated in this video. So the plants are doing fine. They're just growing independently. So something I've been doing is just letting the plants grow independently without any support or help. They're just there figuring out how to grow their best in the area that they were given. So that's gonna be this little quick video on the companion planting update. I wanted to give you guys this update because I have been receiving a few comments on this video that I made about planting them, because they were concerned on the plant selections I did. But I will be giving you guys a more finalized video once I'm harvesting plants or when there's any more updates given towards this project here. So far everything still seems to be doing great and everything seems to be performing the best right now. But I'll be letting you guys know later on once updates have been given. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you learned something new, please leave a like down below. And while you're down there, please consider subscribing to show the Ultimate Gardening channel some support, as well as leave me any video suggestions you would like me to do in the comment section below, and I'll gladly do them for you guys. So thank you all so much for watching this video. May God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow big, Ultimate Gardeners. Bye guys.